There are no universal laws, because a law means the imposition of something, and from the source no one is forced to do or not to do something. Free will or the freedom in the choice of paths is respected. If as source we function in a certain way, it is because we have decided so. It corresponds to the agreement that we, the souls, have reached. The universe does not function the way it does by chance, or because a god decided so. The universe works this way because that is how we, the creator souls, want it to work. And just as, at source, we function thanks to the agreements we, the souls, have reached, so too on the physical planes we are expected to function according to the agreements we, the people, have reached. We are not expected to function by the imposition of laws, because there free will is not respected and corresponds to a system of domination and dictatorship. But we are expected to function as a society thanks to the agreements we reach as a collective. This is how an ideal society works. There are no laws from our point of view, but we understand what you are going for when you want to order or categorize how the universe works. It works according to the free will of each soul or holographic fragment of the source. So a great variety of experiences is created, what you call the expansion of the souls or source. And a certain order is created, or there is a certain order, so that the participation of all souls is fair. Some types of experiences are also regulated, like what we are doing now with the earth, but not regulate as an imposition, or because you cannot choose something. It is regulating because it is understood that it is not being for the benefit of the souls in general, because of the type of experiences it offers. So we help to change certain situations to help the souls, or as a help to the souls, because from here we understand well what is good and what is bad. Then we help when a situation is out of control that generates a lot of suffering that is increasing. We intervene as a help to the souls. From the source it is well understood what is good and what is bad, just as we understand it here, and they intervene to help the souls. They are not indifferent to suffering because everything is allowed. They always help souls to move forward, so that they do not remain stagnant or lose their way for a long time. And there are many souls in the etheric planes willing to help. No matter what name they are called, they help anyway. Many times from the etheric planes, a help is coordinated through the same people who are incarnated to be considered, and it is quite logical that it is so. It is not necessary to make angels appear when the help can be done by the same people. They will never intervene by going against the soul's plans or what they have written, and it is expected that in the physical worlds we act in the same way, that we help to the extent that we respect the soul's plans and the free choice of each one. That is the reason why the stellars cannot intervene directly on Earth yet. They are asked from etheric planes to follow us and the collective plan we already wrote, where the humans will change our whole life system. If a planet is seen in the universe where suffering is increasing, a suffering getting out of control, as in the case of Earth, a collective plan is created to regulate that situation and help the souls. It is already very well planned what will happen on Earth and why it must happen that way. It is written, as we call it here. It is very important to be able to fulfill the plan for humanity to emerge. It cannot continue the same. There is so much suffering that has been increasing and it is getting worse. So it cannot continue the same. There has to be a change in society and in education. That is what was decided from source. Free will. This freedom applies to everything. we're given the freedom to choose our incarnations, and as we live our lives, we have the freedom to make new decisions and open new paths. We can choose who to be with, so don't feel pressured to be with someone you don't want to be with. We can choose what to do on etheric planes. We also have the freedom to choose when to compensate for pending karma and in what way. We are given as much time as we need to move forward in consciousness. And just as we are given that freedom, we are also expected on the physical planes to respect the freedom of others. Therefore, you cannot force anyone, or insist on them, or order them around. You cannot force a person to listen to something they don't want to listen to tell something they don't want to tell, to eat something they don't want to eat, and so on. Respecting the freedom of others means respecting what they do and don't want to do. It means respecting their opinions and their particular tastes. This is how an ideal society works. No laws are imposed to control the population. An ideal society works thanks to the free contribution of the people, and not thanks to the control that a few can exercise. All souls are free, always, no matter where they are. In essence, we are free souls. So we ask you to respect the freedom in the action of others. Everyone can choose where to participate, what to do, and with whom to share, so that they can be happier. Soul families are formed. These correspond to souls that are connected from the heart, or that present an important spiritual connection. This connection is given by sharing good times together. Important memories are created that make the souls want to continue together, forming family groups with whom they reincarnate. Generally, there will be an energetic similarity between the members of the soul family. Some will have similar tastes and similar development of consciousness. May be part of our soul family pets with whom we reincarnate. So, generally, one does not incarnate alone, but coordinates incarnating with some souls of the soul family. The others will remain in etheric planes waiting for their turn to incarnate again. In my case, my soul family is stellar, and I had to borrow a family from Earth in order to help here. I will meet my real family later, so my ancestors would not be those of my Earth family tree, and it is the same with some of you. Family is who you feel comfortable with, who cares, supports, and loves you, who you choose from the heart, and it will not always be your biological family. Soul family groups are formed by similarity in interests and ways of being. There is an energetic attraction due to this similarity, so you participate many times with souls who are similar in frequency but may present different roles or tastes. But there will always be that attraction by similarity in ways of being, so you share in harmony. We are the source more than a God. Everything that exists has consciousness and is part of the source, and we, as a soul, individual consciousness or focus of attention, are also part of the source. Together we form the source or the unified consciousness. The word God is not universal. It belongs to the religions of the earth, and in its origins it refers to the stellars that participated on earth thousands of years ago. People who believe in God or speak of a God see it as a being external to them, or else those who have become more modernized see themselves as a part of God, but they still see God as a being different from them, who is in a higher category. In our essence, we are one energy, one consciousness, or a unified consciousness. We are a mixture of essences with different degrees of evolution of consciousness, where there are no categories, because each one freely chooses where to participate. There is also no favoritism, because there is no discrimination. So we are expected to act in the same way, without discriminating, considering ourselves siblings in consciousness, each one choosing where to participate, without categories or people in higher levels having the right to more. In essence, we are all one. There is that unity that will never dissolve. We will always continue to be united to all. And it is important that you get to see each other in the same way, in unity. All present consciousness linked to Source, and all must be respected, regardless of the ways of being or where they participate. You are all equal in essence. We are all the Source. Each one of you is the Source, and you must learn to respect yourselves as well, so that you can move forward. Asking for respect when you need it will also sit well as respecting the others. Respect for life and in living together. You are all free to be whoever you want to be. What is written happens, although not always. Before we incarnate or begin a new life, we write our soul plan, where contracts are made with other souls with whom we will participate. We arrange key moments for our lives to redirect towards what we as souls wish to experience. So the soul plan will have quite a lot of influence in our lives, thus ensuring that our proposed goals are accomplished. But the soul may decide, depending on what the person is experiencing, to change the plan. Then the decisions made by the soul will have more influence than what that same soul wrote previously. Therefore, these soul plans are open to be changed, both by the soul and by the person who is living their life. But in general, the most important things remain the same. So, we live an incarnation following our soul plans and following the plans of others. The soul plan is written by the souls to organize a life and direct it towards what they want to experience. Contracts are made with other souls who will participate in that life, to help each other and to accompany each other. They write together with their partners the experiences they will have, the children, and when they will be born. Then it is done to coordinate the events that will be most important in their lives. They coordinate their studies and the most important jobs to ensure a monetary income. They write what they want to achieve as people, what are their goals to achieve, so they can be helped or supported in their projects, so they can achieve them. It will always be open to change, depending on what you decide at the time, so you are given the freedom of choice there as well. As for the contracts, you are expected to make them following your interests as souls, so that you can be happier. So you do not choose to be someone you don't want to be, but on the contrary. And what is written happens, as long as the soul is still interested in living what it wrote. Otherwise, it will have the freedom to change it. So it is quite open to what you and your souls decide to do. That is why you lose your paths or lose your way, because you choose new experiences and to participate with new people. But what is more important will happen, such as getting together with your partners, the death according to what you chose, at least in most cases, the realization of your projects or part of them. You are helped from Source with that, so that you have more security in your incarnations. We create death to change experiences. No soul is interested in living forever the same life, with the same body and the same people. We are dynamic souls that change according to the events. So death allows us to finish a stage, review that life, and then choose another experience in another body and with other souls and in another place if we wish. Having the possibility of only living once could never happen, because that would limit us to only one experience and would not give us enough time to develop in all areas we want. It is not possible in one lifetime to be all that we as souls would like to be, so there is reincarnation. If there are many flavors of ice cream in the universe, would you settle for just one? Understanding this will help us to appreciate death and to accept it better. Death as a step into another dimension. Sometimes there will be more suffering, other times you will hardly notice it. It will depend on the death that you have chosen and on the circumstances that you have lived through, where there could be a damage that was not agreed upon, which will be compensated later. Then death will be given according to what you have previously agreed and according to the circumstances that you have lived in that moment of your lives. You can also leave them open to happen within a longer period of time, so that the soul decides when and how to live according to what you are living. Death will be coordinated from an advanced level because it is an important event, the end of your incarnation. Unarranged deaths also occur on Earth, and in those cases we see the karmic responsibilities of those who participated and compensate with positive energy to those affected and their relatives as well, because their relatives will also have their lives and routines changed, and it is unfair to them as well. That is why you must be conscious of taking care of everyone's life, otherwise there could be karmic consequences that will not favor you. Frequency attraction and energetic compensation. What is energetically similar will attract, and what is energetically different will repel. The attraction of frequencies allows the universe to mobilize what it needs to mobilize. If you perform a positive action in addition to what has been agreed upon, you will attract positive energy to your energetic field or soul field. This positive energy that you will carry will help you to open new and better paths for yourself, because you will be projecting positive energy that will attract positive situations into your life. Also, that positive energy or dharma can be exchanged for positive events that will happen in a next incarnation, as explained before. On the contrary, if you perform a negative action that is not agreed upon in the soul plans, you will attract negative energy to your energy field or soul field. And this negative energy that you will carry will not allow you to flow well in life and open the paths that suit you best to be happy. People with bad luck can be people who carry negative energy or karma, or they can also be people who carry negative energy that others have thrown at them out of envy. If it is the latter case, the person has to perform energetic cleansing routines. If it is due to karma, that soul will be able to compensate for it in another life by receiving an energetically equivalent action to the damage it caused. Everything is energy. Take care of your energy and others, and you will flow well through life. As a clarification, karma will be received whenever a non-agreed damage is done, whether or not the person is aware of having done that damage or chain damage, whether or not the person regrets it, whether or not he or she asks for forgiveness, whether it was by chance or intentionally. If there was a harm not agreed upon in the affected person's soul plan, there is karma, and excuses will not serve to clean it up. As we have freedom in living our lives, there are unfair situations for some souls, especially on Earth, because of the low consciousness here. So karma exists to make it fairer for souls. Karma and dharma exist by a collective agreement to maintain a fair balance. Creator souls. Our qualities as creator or creative souls go far beyond what is taught on Earth, where the focus is on manifesting money, quite a matrix approach. Being a creative soul means connecting with other living beings in a deeper way, because As we are all energetically connected, we can access others to understand and help them. It means being able to manifest a positive event or healing. It means having the ability to access the ether and download or channel an idea, be it for a book, painting, melody, etc. It means communicating with beings from other dimensions. It means being able to leave our physical body at will. Being a creative soul means directing our lives through our own heart, choosing what to do. It means having the capacity for self-thought, analysis, abstraction, and imagination. These are all creative qualities of souls, and they are there to be valued and used. They are there as tools in our lives. Connecting us through technology to an artificial intelligence so that a group of people could control us would end all these creative qualities that we present and would go against our whole essence. It would kill our freedom of choice and creation. So it's a terrible idea, but a great idea for those evil beings who want to control us more easily. They would not have to herd the sheep through fear, but could direct them at the push of a button. Every event that occurs will occur because souls have manifested it, either intentionally or rationally, or with their own fears and deeper intentions. So everything that exists is due to the creation of all, and not of one single being or God. It is you who direct and will direct your lives at your convenience or not. You can choose. Time is relative to each consciousness. The perception of time will be relative to each being. It will be different for each species, and it will be different among the different planets, because the consciousnesses that inhabit them will be different. A fly will perceive time differently from a hummingbird, and a hummingbird will perceive time differently from an octopus. The octopus will perceive it differently from a human, and a human will perceive it differently from an Arcturian. Time is relative to consciousnesses. And since souls choose to go back in time to repeat a life, then there cannot be a fixed past, present, and future for everyone. So we are all time travelers. There will always be a past for your soul, which are the lives you have already lived, and you will feel a progression of time because your soul will be developing throughout the incarnations. But this individual perception of time does not limit us as source. In the advanced planes of source, all information can be accessed without the limitations of time, so each event will be seen as another present. As a conclusion, time will not be the same for each being or species. It will depend on the consciousnesses. It will always be an individual perception rather than a collective one, and this is because each being will feel life differently. Just as you are all different in ways of being, also the perception of time will be different for each one or will have its own characteristics. And as each species presents similarities among themselves, they will perceive time in a similar way or at a particular rhythm. The information is protected. The access to information will be given depending on the progress of the souls. And if some information is not given, it is not because they want to hide it, but rather it is done to take care of the souls and their own paths of evolution. In the advanced planes, we have access to all the information because we participate in unity helping the other souls. It is understood that we need to know what is happening in each place of the source so that we can decide when and how to intervene. It is a form of control that is directed rather to the welfare of the souls. If someone could negatively affect others with information, then they will not be given access to it. And we will give an information that is pertinent to the moment the souls are living, so that it is helpful. So there are intermediaries on etheric planes who assist in the delivery of the information when it is seen to be of benefit to the souls. So the souls will be given information that is appropriate to the moment that they are living. No one who is incarnated will have a free access, because from a material plane, no one has the capabilities to be able to use all that information for the benefit of the souls. We help from advanced etheric planes to filter that information. And there are souls who will receive that helpful information and pass it on to others, who are other intermediaries of the information. And in the case of them, we see that they fulfill certain characteristics, also so that the objective of helping is fulfilled. We block many times from source information that you should not know yet, in order to respect your free will in the choice of your paths. So we generally do not deliver information about the future, just the basics so you can move forward.